book review this week. I wanted to share with you that I don't often, let me take a little sip of my smoothie here. I do not often listen to audiobooks. I really don't, because I prefer to listen to podcasts. I like conversations when I'm listening to audio. I'll even put on a YouTube video and just kind of listen to the audio. I like the audio from conversations. So I'm not typically doing that, or if I'm listening to audio, I'm doing something, a podcast that's educational as well, or, even like I've said before, just kind of something funny to lighten the mood from any stress. But I like to read books. But I said to myself, you know what? You've got a little bit of a drive, because I had to drive for a particular place. So I was like, I'm going to get an audiobook. And I was recommended the book Triggers, and it ended up being, excuse me, it ended up being a very good book. So the reason why I chose this one is that we just started, or we're getting into teaching IHP mastery. So this year we're doing this once as a mastery class for our integrative health practitioners. And it's 6 months long. We teach essentially behavioral psychology and life coaching, and helping clients as well as themselves get more consistent results in their life. And so it's all about habits, breaking habits, creating good habits, overcoming the imposter syndrome, and so much more. So one of the things in this book, though, is essentially figuring out what causes you to have a poor reaction, right? So what causes you not to be at your best? That's another way to look at it. And one of the examples is, let's say you go home, you're chatting with your spouse, and all of a sudden he or she says one thing, and it's kind of minor in general, but you just end up kind of flying off the handle, as they say, and yelling back and saying things you regret. Well, somehow you were triggered by that, right? And so the important thing is to figure out what was the trigger. And oftentimes it could be a comment just about, it could be a respect thing, it could be a love thing, it could be a caring thing, it could be not providing enough, like whatever it might be. But it doesn't start there. And that was the interesting thing about this book. This book was essentially the rain barrel effect for emotions, right? Because the rain barrel effect affects everything in our life. When I wrote that book, I wrote it about health, but the rain barrel effect is literally about all of life. So what the author was explaining is that whenever we're set off, that may or may not happen in a different situation. So if your spouse said something, like whatever they said, and you were out with a bunch of friends, and you were all laughing, having a good time, and they said that, it might be taken in a different context. But what happens is, when you just had a rough day at work, you had meetings that didn't go well, you're not meeting deadlines, when you were coming home, you missed time, weren't able to get to the gym, then you're stuck in traffic, and now you're coming home. So you're stressed, right? You just filled up your rain barrel with stress. That's basically what it's showing. And then one of your particular triggers was set off. So this explains how to go back, look at what's happening, understand that it is happening, and before you explode or get upset or handle things in not your best way, right, putting your best foot forward, you're able to stop that. So it was a good book. I can definitely recommend it. Again, I don't do a whole lot of, I would say, audiobooks, but this one was a good one, easy to listen to, super easy. And one thing I want to share with you as well is that the way that I've done this now for years is understanding that too, that I need to switch modes when I come back from work. So this is exactly what I do. Always when I'm done for the day, I kind of reorganize my desk. My desk is like a 5 foot by 3 foot. It's a pretty big desk. And it's always looks like literally a bomb hit it or a tornado came through by the end of the day. I've got research, I've got notes, I have vitamins, I have my journal, I've got smoothies, water bottles. It's a huge mess. You can't see that on purpose because I don't show that. But that's what it looks like. All around you, there's stuff everywhere. Okay, so what do? I organize it. At the end of the day, it takes maybe 3 minutes, right? We're not talking about a 20-minute task. And then what I do is I go to the gym, and that's 30 minutes. Or I go for a walk on the way home. That's really it. That's really all that I do. I close Slack, I close my work, and that changes modes for me. So it's just one thing to think about. You might just do simple breath work or whatever it might be to kind of switch those gears.